Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Clone Wars Commentary. I'm your host, Cheyenne, and I am joined by Brody. Say hi, Brody.
I'm yawning. I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
That's okay.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Brody, again.
We love to see it. Brody has kindly joined me on one of the coolest arcs that we will see in Clone Wars, is the Water War arc, featuring the Mon Cala and the Corran, and a couple other people. Other, slightly important Jedi people, maybe. Brody, how do you feel about this arc before we get into the first episode of it?
After rewatching it today, it really reminded me why it was one of my favorites. And I think it's definitely, not only was it the beginning of Season 4 where I feel like the show only gets up and up and up, because Season 3 had, its downs and such, but Season 4, I think, really kicked it off great with this very beautiful arc, like the underwater aesthetics and feels, especially with the lighting and such, really grounded it in such a unique and special episode that I love to watch, especially since you kind of get a feel of the Mon Calamari, who we only see briefly in Return of the Jedi. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. I do also love the underwater effects of all of this one. And I like whenever I think about the scenery of this one, I literally wrote it in my notes, the underwater Coruscant, basically. The tunnels are really cool. So the streets of Coruscant, and then the way that the buildings are heightened and lowered, and all of the basic, almost the glass-like features of them. It's gorgeous.
You know their buildings are ships, right?
No, I didn't know that.
No, their buildings are ships. They take off out of the water, Hull 1?
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi Hull. That's a Mon Calamari city, building.
That's amazing.
Hold on, I don't know if that's still true, but let me look it up.
Fair.
Home 1. Because
that's so cool.
I heard it somewhere from, official Star Wars stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that just might be me just bringing that out.
Brody propaganda.
Manufacturer, Mon Calamari Shipyard. So it is a Mon Calamari ship, but let's see.
I'm so excited.
A civilian deep space explorer, later retrofitted for military service. History.
Ooh.
It once served as a mobile command center after the Empire discovered and destroyed the main Alliance headquarters on Hoth. Wait.
I love that one.
And it also served in the New Republic. How neat. But,
That's cool. Hold on. Yeah. I have to think about my timelines. It takes me a minute.
Mon Calamari Shipyards. Let's see. I don't remember.
I can't fix that.
I just remember hearing somewhere that Mon Calamari buildings are the ships, but it might just be something I'm just bringing out there.
A, it would be cool, but B, visually, I know, skipped a lot of letters there.
Leaps and bounds.
B, it visually makes sense because when Anakin, and obviously we'll get to that part, but when Anakin knocks down one of the buildings, it is shaped like that. It's ovally egg-shaped or whatever. So, speaking of getting into it, Season 4, Episode 1. I don't remember. It's called The Water War, actually.
Wait. The
What?
Mon Calamari Exodus Fleet. I think I found it.
Oh. A specific group of ships?
Yes. It was just ships that the Empire mistook for average buildings. The Mon Calamari Exodus Fleet was a Mon Calamari fleet that escaped the subjugation of their homeworld Mon Cala by the Galactic Empire. City ships, mistaken by the Empire as average buildings, emerged from the sea and fled Mon Cala.
Oh.
The fleet consisted of vessels such as the MC-75 Star Cruisers led by the Profundity and Admiral Radis, who was the darker...
Yeah, a bluer...
from Rogue One, and the Profundity was the ship that the Tantive 4 was stored in.
Okay, that is cool.
But yeah, we're making all these connections. Yeah,
making progress.
A picture of them.
Oh, yeah, that definitely. I see the confusion.
Yeah.
See where it comes from.
It says,
Is that on Wikipedia?
Ships. Yes, the buildings in Mon Calamari, all of them are ships.
Okay, cool.
Because it says their appearances are in the Clone Wars episode.
Oh, nice. Wow. That's awesome. That's good to know. They didn't talk about it at all.
You know, I totally didn't just spread a massive lie.
Star Wars lies.
Many voices, many ears on the internet.
No, all good. Listen, people will always... I'm sure people listening will fact check us all the time.
Absolutely. Send out a tweet.
Yeah.
Brody made this up.
You're wrong. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
Totally
just
fine.
be nice. So the first episode, The Water Wars moral, little fortune cookie, says, when destiny calls, the chosen have no choice. Obviously, in reference to this episode, we talk a lot about, or we see a lot of Princely Char figuring his life out. So, that extends all the way through. His character development extends all the way through the arc. What other moments, I know this is an obvious question, but we're going to do it anyways. What other moments in Star Wars do you think of when you hear, when destiny calls, the chosen have no choice?
Well, when we speak about chosen, I feel like it's a little bit obvious.
It's a little obvious. It's fine.
So, our good friend Jar Jar. No.
Yeah. That's where I was going.
Just pull the 1-2 skidoo on you. No, talking about our buddy Anakin, you know, when he's first found on Tatooine. I usually say Tatooine. I don't know why I said it like that.
It's okay.
Apologies.
I hear it both
Who
ways.
cares? It's tomato.
Yeah.
So, he's, you know, plucked from the sands of Tatooine like a ripe potato and brought into the Jedi Order. And, you know, he really didn't have much of a say in that, you know. I mean, he kind of did. He did with the prospect of he's going to save his mom.
Yeah.
And to which didn't really... sorry, it really didn't come to fruition. But,
yeah, I would say with... in regards to him being the chosen one and also having no choice, I think a lot about the fact that, like, when I talk to people about Anakin, because I do, like, desperately love him, the fact that he, no matter what would have happened to him, he would have turned to the dark side. Yeah. And it's just, like, a fact of the matter, you know? Like, and I am the person to theorize about, like, well, what if Anakin had never turned to the dark side? Look at him and his family. I love that concept, but... for the sake of the story, somebody was going to have to turn. He was the really good option to do so, which is why he was considered, quote-unquote, the chosen one.
If you kind of think about, like, the play-by-play, if, you know, little Annie stayed on Tatooine with his mom still under the ownership of Watto, at some point, maybe if the streams are still crossing the same direction, get, you know, picked up by Krieg Lars, becomes his stepdad. And I wonder, would he still turn to the dark side because maybe Tusken Raiders take her and he still goes to the dark side because of that? Like, it makes you think, like, no matter what, the dark side was destined for little Annie.
Yeah.
Little ripe potato Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I feel like his journey with the Jedi just prolonged it. It just prolonged it and added to it. It taught him how to suppress himself, and then it made it worse. And
that's why it's so unhealthy to keep it all in.
Yeah, because I think if that had happened and he had turned to the dark side, he would have turned to the dark side with uncontrollable Force abilities, you know? With no understanding of the Force and having probably hurt or murdered a whole village. And he would have been like, well, where did that come from? And not know what to do. And then it would have been expedited exponentially. So.
Now... This was a conversation I was having with my friend, talking about, you know, the Force and younglings and stuff. So we see, like, in shows like the Clone Wars and Rebels, kids using the Force when they're young. But I wonder, like, how many, like, Force sensitives go under the radar? How are they not, crazy explosive with the Force?
Yeah.
Or even, what's it like? I'm trying to think. There was a specific example that triggered it, but I think it was talking about how, like, some species were too, like, dangerous to be trusted with, like, being trained as a Jedi.
I could see that. I could see, like...
Because
that, like,
with
whole
the new
narrative.
The High Republic stuff that they got going, there's one Jedi named Skier, who is a Trandoshan. So far, he's probably one of my favorite Jedi. I love Skier.
That's awesome.
Oh, but he is he sometimes like lashes out a little bit because it's his inner hunting lizard that's raging inside of him. So I wonder if does the Force get really strong with a child and they get trained and honed on the Force, or do they are they Force sensitive when they're kids and then they don't really have the chance to like expel it?
Right.
Do they just oh, I forgot? Is it just oh, you just forgot something?
Because they always talk about like with Ahsoka and Grogu, like her being like, if I don't train him, it'll go away. He'll forget everything and just won't do anything, and it's like
he'll never achieve his true potential if he's never trained.
Yeah,
it's like there's no real metaphor to put it into physically. I mean, I suppose it's like if you give a kid some building blocks, you show him how to build them. But if you the kid has the building blocks, that's for certain. But someone's got to show him how to stack them on top of each other. And if nobody does, then he's just got a pile of blocks. He's like,
he's gonna walk away.
I'm gonna move to the Lightning McQueen over here.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna really.
I'm gonna go find something else to
pursue these blocks that I don't know what to do with, and then the blocks get thrown away.
Yeah, exactly. That was a whole tangent. I just listen.
Absolutely, our podcasts end up getting a little tangenty.
I love it. I love it. The Kessel crew is my favorite people to tangent with.
Honestly, I really want to do Kessel Cast.
Kessel Cast.
Like a show.
Just a talking one?
Talk.
Yeah.
It's the talking show.
I love that. It's definitely an option. I am pulling myself in so many different directions, but when that is less so.
I have nothing going on in my life. I just work full time and I'm not really doing much else, just trying to make money. I'm like, how can I make my life a little less sad?
Shut up. Listen, but pulling yourself in as many directions as I'm currently doing is not the answer, so don't do that to yourself. I'm currently...
True, but you just gotta find what you love.
Yeah, I love doing everything that I'm doing, which is crazy. I'm working full-time, which I don't love that, but I'm working full-time.
No, I get that.
I'm writing for Screen Rant, I'm doing the podcast, and I'm going to school for my master's. So, but I love all of it. So, it's just hard. But that's why these episodes don't come out very often. Anyways.
To any of our podcast listeners, Cheyenne's got some awesome articles on Screen Rant. Articles or just articles?
Articles. So, more of mine came out. And more are coming out this week. And then I have a Attack on Titan article coming out this week. Well, probably not this week. Maybe next week. My due dates and the published dates are different. And then I have so my Grey's Anatomy article that's coming out is Grey's Anatomy characters ranked least to most likely to win the Hunger Games. That was really fun to write.
I feel like that's really obscure, something that no one would ever really think about, but also just something that makes you want to click it.
Yeah.
And it's just who would?
Yeah.
Who's the Katniss of, Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah, spoiler alert, it's Christina Yang. Always.
What?
It's Christina Yang. 100%.
I've never watched the show personally, so I have no idea who that is.
You could watch the first episode and know exactly what I mean by watching the first episode and seeing who she is and how she acts.
I just remember I think it was my aunt had a Wii game of Grey's Anatomy.
What?
And it was garbage.
Probably.
I'm gonna do a quick Google, see how much it is,
and
we can do a Let's Play.
I've never even heard of that.
Grey's Anatomy.
Know that existed.
Yep, there it is.
Oh my
Grey's
god.
Anatomy, the video game, the Nintendo Wii, published by Ubisoft.
Holy poop.
more higher ratings than lesser ratings. How much is this? $50. There's only one left in stock. These things are flying off the shelves. So many people got, $50 burned in their pockets.
Oh my god.
Grey's Anatomy, the Wii game.
What is happening? Are you a surgeon in it?
I think so. Look, it's like
those graphics.
It's like the characters.
Oh my god.
And there's like steamy romance.
Steamy romance.
Oh, and some lines.
Don't know what that one is.
But still, I remember it was like for some reason, it was kind of like a poor man's Telltale game. Where it just kind of played a cutscene, and it's like, now put together these puzzle pieces to get the next cutscene. And it's like, time for a surgery minigame. Okay, they remembered their amnesia because you, I don't know, blown away the fog on this photo. Time for another cutscene, and I just
That's ridiculous.
I was with my cousin.
That sounds
like,
crazy.
This sucks.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. That sounds rough. Oh my god. Okay, Grey's Anatomy tangent is deleted. It's over.
So now
back to episode 1.
We were discussing.
Back to Star Wars.
In the first place, 20 minutes ago.
So the first episode is really like establishing what's going on. There is a potential / definitely going to happen civil war happening on Mon Cala, which is this oceanic.
The king's dead.
Huh?
Because the king is dead.
The king is dead. The king was murdered, right?
Yeah.
That's what they said.
He floated down and had a whole knife in his spine.
Oh, I missed that part. I wasn't...
it was in the, like, and the king was murdered. Now his son, Prince Lee Char, takes the throne.
That's probably why I wasn't paying attention. I usually just listen to him in that part, because I'll be, like, doing something, and I'm like, okay, he's done talking, time to watch. But in my rewatches.
It's shown him literally stabbed in the back.
Sad. Probably by that stupid shark man that we're going to talk about, too.
Yeah, the knife was
stupid shark man.
Autographed by a Rift Hampson. I have no idea who did the murder.
Don't know whose knife this is.
Shark head on the bottom, like Mary Poppins' umbrella.
It was, like, shaped that way, yeah. So this is between the two very well-described, aggressive Corrin and peaceful Mon Cala. I would say categorizing them this way was unfair, because obviously they have lived in peace for some time, and every, like, government and species within Star Wars is going to argue about stuff, but without the, obviously, separatists pulling some strings and saying some mean things and brainwashing some people, it wouldn't have been a problem. I guess the same definitely goes for the Republic in some situations, but not necessarily in this one. They were just kind of there because Akbar was like, hey, this isn't going to go well. You should be here, which was a good call.
But also the planet is, under the veil of the Republic.
Exactly.
It's a Republic planet, and just these seppies being like, oh, yeah, you're
seppies.
Okay, I'm going to bring up my guys.
Yeah. Are you really in the Republic? Do you really want to be? That's always the question. But instead of sending somebody derpy like they normally do, like Grievous, they send this shark man. Love to hate him. His name is Rift Hampson. Let's pull up his little tabby tab here. Obviously, as usual, you can just look this stuff up for yourselves if you would like. Rift Hampson is available on Wikipedia.
Do we go to Databank or Wikipedia?
I go to both. Today I'm using Wikipedia. But normally I'll pull up both just to kind of see the differences, but today I'm just using one. Wikipedia says Rift Hampson was a Caradon male from the planet Caris.
I think
Carcass.
Lee Char pronounced it Carcadon.
Carcadon. There we go. I was like, I'm reading every single syllable so that I say this correctly. Tamsin served as commander and warlord. Carcadon. I'm struggling here. He served as commander and warlord for the Separatists during the Clone Wars, placed in charge of operations on aquatic planets such as Mon Cala. So I want to know if he was in charge of other aquatic planets that we don't get to see because it's not a major species that we know of in Star Wars. This says, when Count Dooku tasked Samson to disrupt the fragile peace between the Mon Cala and the Quarren, he conspired with the chieftain, Nosarai, to bring the Quarren into the war on the side of the Confederacy and the Quarren Isolation League. That's interesting. I didn't know that that's what it was called. And yes, he was. The person that murdered Yas Kalina. I probably didn't say that right either. Yas
Kalina. Yas. Can I just say the Quarren Isolation League sounds like the worst baseball team of all time?
It just, doesn't sound fun. Why does that exist even before this issue happened?
Yeah, I understand there's, the Justice League, but then it's, the Isolation League.
The Isolation League.
Sigh. It's for where all the edgy Quarren go.
I was about to say, honestly, it's a big Quarren vibe because I've never had a good feeling seeing any of them ever in my life. They don't make me feel nice.
My one buddy Aaron, he keeps saying that they have butts on the back of their heads.
Oh my god, I don't think I've ever noticed the back of their heads. Do they? Do they look like butts?
Yeah.
Oh.
They look like
gross.
Butts. I want our back of Quarren head.
Are you Googling?
Yep. You know what? They shown it exactly. That does not look like a butt. That looks like straight up something else.
Oh no! That's live action. That's disgusting.
Yeah,
okay, I will kindly
viewers out there who is under the age of 18, don't go looking up the backs of Quarren's heads.
You told them not to, so now they will.
Oh, you're right. Oh god. We gotta blacklist the podcast.
Yeah. Kindly do not get on the internet today. How about that? That's a good one. The Quarren Isolation League was an organization with its own soldiers that believed Quarren should not be ruled by the Mon Cala monarchy. It was led by the chieftain Nosarai, again, who believed King Yas Kolina's heir, Princely Char, was too young to inherit his throne. Hence the plot line of the arc. It received the backing of the Separatist ambassador, which honestly, I don't know if it did, because why would he? I feel like when it comes to the planets fighting each other over things, they don't think to call the Separatists, until something like, hey, we are a Republic place, so the Republic ambassadors are going to be here. So then they're like, oh, I'm going to call the Separatists. Or, because we know where the Separatists are branching from and who is actually over them, they obviously stick their nose in everything, and they're like, hey, this is a Republic-owned or Republic-based planet. Let's go there and mess with some stuff. I think it's so funny that Anakin and Padme are there to oversee the peace. Not funny in a ha-ha kind of way, but funny in a... We don't get to see them on missions together specifically very often. And the one time that we do get to see them do so, it's on a water planet where Gungans are going to be present. So it's like a replay of Attack of the Clones. And something else. Attack of the Clones. Bro, you okay?
Sorry.
It's okay. You looked at me confused, and I was like, "Am I wrong?"
No. You're right.
Okay.
I think the Quarren first appeared in Return of the Jedi.
I think you're right.
In Jabba's jams.
Yeah, they're gross. I don't like them. I don't like the way they talk. They sound like they have a bubble stuck in their throat.
Here I am.
Ooh, like that.
That's gross. Oh my god, we invited a real Quarren to the podcast.
Oh my god, welcome to our special guest.
Ask me any question. I'm very happy to answer.
Cheyenne, what's your question for the Quarren? I brought him all the way here.
Why do you feel like Princely Char is not fit to rule?
He's small.
I just realized listening to you say that, listening to you talk like that the reason I don't like that is because it sounds like what's his face from Futurama. What's his name?
Oh,
the lobster guy.
God, I know his name. For some reason, Quagmire keeps popping up, but that's Family Guy.
That's funny, though.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no. Somebody in their car is yelling at us. Like, it's this. Zoidberg. Oh, my God.
What was... There's, like, that iconic thing that he said. Just, like... It's like... The guy asked him, like, are you sure that you know, like, about human anatomy? He's like,
yes, I know everything about human anatomy. Now
Yeah.
show me your tentacles.
And it's like,
Yep. 100%. That's why I don't like it. Because Zoidberg is
I
weird.
was about to Google Futurama Lobster Man.
Yeah. Honestly, my search history with all the Star Wars stuff I search probably doesn't look really normal.
No,
What
my
else
search
was-
history does not look normal. Not for the reasons you'd assume, because it's just like, sometimes I just look up, like, dogs and top hats. Just there it is. I'm just like, I
mean,
need
hey.
a reference image for how I feel.
You gotta. Yeah. It's fine. So I didn't take many notes on each of these episodes simply because, like, most of this is going to be talking about the arc as a whole, and we try to keep the Clone Wars episodes short. Good Lord, can I speak? So the things that I picked up from the first episode was that Tamsin, his motive was control of the planet. It seemed to come from a self-righteous standpoint, not just a separatist standpoint. But as you see him interact with Dooku more in episodes 2 and 3, you do see that, like, he definitely is, like, ruled over. It's not necessarily everything is his decision. He's just very good at executing those choices. And then at this point also in the Clone Wars and in Star Wars storytelling, Akbar is a captain. He's not yet an admiral. And it really solidifies my, like, love for him, because a lot of people are like, oh, people only like him because he said it's a trap, and people only really like that line recently. And it's like, first of all, that's fine. But second of all, have you seen the Clone Wars? He's awesome. And he really, really helps Lee Char kind of, like, come into himself and, like, go through a lot of realizations. How do you feel about Captain Akbar, Brody?
How do I feel?
How do you feel?
I feel pretty great about him.
Yeah.
I'd give him a firm handshake. You know, I'd be like, yes, good handshake with your weird web fingers.
Nice handshake.
Oh, and also, I know that the podcast listeners can't do this, but when looking up the Senator Mina Tills, she's like the elderly woman, Mon Calamari.
Yes.
She appears in live action, and
What?
she looks like this.
Oh, no.
If you guys bring up that image, bring up the image of Mina Tills, just be like,
It's like a watch-along. We'll just tell you what to Google, and you just experience this with us.
We're just, unless we can't edit photos over the YouTube version, can we? Because I know, like, Spotify listeners, they won't have the ability to see anything except for, the logo.
Yeah. I don't usually visually record these, unless I'm prepared to do so, and tonight I was not prepared to do so, as
Well,
says
I mean, like, if
my
we
outfit,
could, like,
but-
in the cutting room floor, just
Yeah.
have, like, it's like, bring it up here, and it pops up on the scrin.
Yeah, just to do an image. That's definitely an
The
option.
better version, the version on YouTube, because we can make more money.
It's definitely an option. I just don't have that kind of time on my hands. But if you wanted to have your kind of time on your hands to do stuff like that, you are literally more than welcome to do so. I do not have YouTube editing time right now.
I'd love to set up something, but
All right.
we'll discuss it.
We'll talk about it after. We'll talk about the logistics
an
later.
image may have or may not popped up here. If it didn't, things didn't pull through and I was lazy. And if something did, congratulations, we're motivated.
You've made
Moving
it.
on to
And so have we,
Star
apparently.
Wars.
Moving on to Star Wars. So let's just... The last two things that I really just like to point out stupid stuff that I enjoy from Clone Wars, because that's what we're here to enjoy. The fact that Padme's suit is vibrant maroon. Even when she's underwater in a spacesuit, she is crushing it. Style-wise.
It's like in Scooby-Doo, when it's like, no matter what outfit, like, Daphne has.
Daphne's
it's always,
crushing
like, that vibrant, like, neon purple,
Mm-hmm.
and like while
And
everyone
orange.
else is
Mm-hmm.
like in this like tactical gear, she's still wearing like the boots, and it's like Fred is like, Daphne, why are you still wearing the boots? And it's like, I can't just not wear them. It
can't.
makes the suit look good.
Yeah. How am I ever going to catch anybody without my knee highs, you know?
Exactly. And Padme's like, how else am I supposed to be diplomatic without my maroon?
My maroon. It's key. It's a key element. And then the shark roar. I don't know if that happens in the first episode or if it's in the second, but I think it's in both. And when Tamsin roars, it's so weird and disorienting. And as somebody who studied aquarium animals, everybody needs to relax. Sharks don't roar like that, but whatever. It's fine.
Excuse me, have you ever seen Jaws 4: The Revenge?
No, I haven't.
roar.
Actually.
It's horrible. It's probably one of the worst movies.
I've seen to
you'll ever
3.
see.
I didn't know 4
What?
exists. I've seen to Jaws 3.
Jaws 4: The Revenge. It's where the ghost of the undead shark goes for revenge on Captain
Shut
Brody's
up.
family.
Oh,
I'm serious.
my God.
I am 100% serious. And Michael Caine was in it. You know Michael Caine?
Yeah, love him.
What?
Love him.
Okay, I thought you said no because you were shaking your head. But
No, I love him.
no, we all love Michael Caine.
Yeah.
He was in it, and on the red carpet review, he was like someone was like, "You seen the movie? You like the movie, right?" And he's like, "Well, I like the hot tub that it bought me." The movie was horrible.
Oh my God, I
If anybody
love
wants
him.
to see a bad movie, don't even watch Jaws 4: The Revenge. Go for something that you'll actually enjoy.
Enjoy watching as a bad movie. And and that does make sense. Okay, let me pull up episode 2. Episode 2 is called Gungan... No, is it? No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's called Gungan Attack. Only through... The fortune cookie for this one is only through fire is a strong sword forged. Which, obviously, that applies to this episode. As do most of these. But...
Yeah, but there's no fire underwater.
There's no fire underwater.
Explain that. Explain that, Einstein,
So-
George Lucas.
If no fire underwater, how sword? The main goal of this fortune cookie being that, Princely Char obviously needs to, get his life together in a way that will bring his people hope. And they do bring up that a lot throughout these episodes. Episodes 2 and 3 specifically, they bring up the word hope, which I think is awesome because they love doing that. Every now and then they throw the word hope into Clone Wars episodes and just wrap it all up with a pretty package and tie a bow on it after Leia said, "You're our only hope." Which they also say twice in this show.
The moral of the story, Lee Char's gotta, go through some S to rule some S.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to swear.
No.
I'm on my third and final strike. If I swear one more time, I'm kicked out of the group. So I'm really on my tippy toes here.
Holding on tight.
This group is very, very serious about their work.
Skating on thin ice, Brody.
Yeah, very brutal. They haven't paid me yet, which
Nobody gets paid.
even though I just saw Dan toting a new a whole new Infinity Gauntlet in the background.
Yeah, I got a brand new computer set up. Brody doesn't get anything.
Yeah, you've got a brand new computer set up while I'm pinching pennies at Chipotle, running off of tips and be like, this could maybe afford half a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Goes dumpster diving to get it.
I have dumpster dove before.
Honestly,
But not for food. I'm just gonna preface, not for food.
no. I keep seeing TikToks about people going dumpster diving and finding great furniture, and I am very, very intrigued.
Well, my dad used to drive me, but I used to do it. We went to our local GameStop when it was closing.
Oh my
And
God.
I found some loot. I found they threw away all of their pre-used Skylanders.
What?
So
oh
I
my
yoinked
God.
all of them. There were
Yoink.
20 of them. There was, on the wall, there's a display for Turtle Beach headsets, and it has a little video that plays, and you put on the speaker,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
put on the ear the headphones and it plays it.
Mm-hmm.
I got one of those. It still worked. I was able to still like play the video.
Oh my God.
and everything.
That's crazy.
It was so crazy.
No shame in dumpster diving. It's just funny.
And I found some cool PlayStation Vita games.
Nice.
Which I don't have a PlayStation Vita, so I gave it to my friend.
But it's still there, and it still did great. In episode 2, I believe is also where our little clone highlight comes in. He comes in this one, yeah? Episode 2? Not 3? Yeah. Whatever. So we... Oh my God. We don't always get, long, detailed backstories about the clones. But this being the Clone Wars and this being Clone Wars commentary, I always like to shout out whenever I learn a new clone's name. So this week on Clone Wars commentary, we have learned that Clone Scuba Trooper Monk with 2 N's, M-O-N-N-K, served in the Clone Wars as a clone commander under the leadership of Jedi Kit Fisto, which is probably another reason we don't see him, because this is one of our only times that we get to see Kit Fisto in full action. I love him. That's a whole nother tangent that I'm going on later. Anyways, during the Battle of Mon Cala, he served as Red Leader and commanded a company of Grand Army scuba troopers against the separatist aqua droids of Commander Riff Tampson. Boom. That's it. That's Commander Monk.
For each episode, we go into like a little bit of a character dive, right?
Yeah. So
did Monk count as a character dive because we just described like a fact?
No, he doesn't count as a character dive. Our character dive for this one is my favorite Jedi Master, Kit Fisto.
I was just about to say Kit Fisto. I wanted to talk about him.
Yeah, bring it on. What you got?
All right, so here's my completely original reading about Kit Fisto.
Yes.
Kit Fisto was a Nautolan Jedi Master during the last years of the Galactic Republic. Fisto was known as an expert swordsman, having some of the finest dueling skills in the Jedi Order. A celebrated fighter, Fisto served the Republic as a general for the Grand Army of the Republic during the Clone Wars, a galaxy-wide conflict between the Republic and the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Fisto fought in various campaigns and over the course of the war was accepted as a member of the Jedi High Council. Fisto took part in many battles during the early stages of the war, first serving in the opening conflict of the war on Geonosis, and shortly thereafter in a covert operation on the planet Hisrich.
Never heard of it. Don't know.
Oh, it was from a book. Jedi of the Republic, Mace Windu.
Oh. We all know how I feel about him.
Well, there we go. There's our little fact of Hisrich, my new favorite planet. Following the escape of Separatist leader Newt Gunray from Republic custody, Fisto and his former Padawan Nadar Veb were I'm sorry.
It's so sad.
Going all the way back to Mon Calamari.
Yeah.
Nadar Veb was a Mon Calamari.
Rest in peace.
And he got shot multiple times in the abdomen.
Oh, I shouldn't have laughed at that, but yeah.
No, you should have. It was funny. Anyways. Their mission went awry, however, as they ended up facing the notorious Jedi Hunter and Separatist General Grievous in his lair. While
Great
Zed
episode.
perished at the hands of General... Fisto very nearly bested him in combat and escaped with his life, but without Gunray ultimately making the mission a failure. During a schism between the Mon Calamari and the Quarren peoples of Mon Cala, Fisto was sent to aid the Mon Calamari against the Separatist-backed Quarren.
Because he's a
battle
water
proved
boy.
to be difficult as the Separatists eventually overpowered the Republic forces. With the Separatist victory looming, Fisto and several others escaped into hiding, though he was eventually captured and tortured. The Mon Calamari and Quarren later rekindled their alliance. And repelled the Separatists, aided by the freed Fisto. Following the Mon Cala campaign, Fisto took a more active role in the High Council. As the end of the war drew near, Anakin Skywalker revealed to Mace Windu that Chancellor Palpatine was a Sith Lord.
You're really getting into it.
Yeah, well, I'm reading the whole...
You don't have to read the whole thing.
Windu took Fisto and fellow masters Agent Kolar and Seisei Tin to Palpatine's office to arrest him. The Dark Lord easily killed Kolar, Tin, and Fisto nearly instantly, with Windu joining them soon after.
That was the whole. That's all of Kit Fisto's summary.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's sad.
He fought in 3 notable battles and died.
R.I.P. Fun fact: he is from Glion Som, which we've only ever heard of in a couple of things as far as like side mention, but most notably in Solo because Beckett like makes it a point to say Glion Som, and it's an ocean planet located in the Jalor system in the Mid-Rim.
Yeah, Tobias Beckett is from Glion Som. That's his homeworld. He was born on it.
I didn't know that.
Because it's, it's got like a lot of people there too.
I didn't know that.
But the Nautilans are, I think, the native species.
Yeah, it says native species on Salmi and Nautilin, and then immigrated species is human.
Well,
it's really pretty. If you look it up on Wikipedia, there's a picture of it, and it's pretty. Russia's 2 phone. So in episode 2, one of my favorite moments from this whole episode, there's 2 really, but one of them is when they finally realize after they've like dropped the Hydroid Medusa on them, which is basically a giant mechanized jellyfish cyborg thing. It's pretty cool, but it's also like nearly indestructible until Kit Fisto finds a solution and blows it up. But
I'd say jellyfish are probably one of the only creatures that actually like skeeve me out to the point where I'm just like,
they're terrifying.
Ugh. You love them?
I love them, but they're terrifying. They're gorgeous.
I get that they're very graceful, but just something about them just being this little thing the size of an egg. And then these tendrils that are like 10 feet in length that are just going down.
That will just wrap around you unintentionally.
Stop!
I mean, yeah, the concept of a jellyfish is terrifying. Like, I've watched a video of it because I always wondered, like, because I've never been in the water with tentacled jellyfish that I know of. Because I've never been stung by one of those, knock on wood.
My sister once got stung by a man of war.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it sucked. It was only like a tiny little grazing, but like the lifeguards had to come in. It was crazy.
Oh god, that sounds horrible. Yeah, I'd never wish that on anybody. But I've only ever like messed with like box jellyfish because I've happened to be in the water with them, and my mom was like, "Don't touch it," even though they're harmless.
Moon
but
jellies
like
for me, little guys.
They're so cute. Yeah, so they're like they're cute, but like no, I don't want to be near it. It scares me. It's terrifying. And just like, oh god, yeah, okay, we can't talk about that anymore. I get what you mean.
Brains. They're just nervous systems. That's it.
They're just in organs.
How did
somehow
nature produce a creature that just is a nervous system going through? How?
Just floating. Just vibing. They straight up vibe.
Yeah, literally.
They're just
sea turtles eat them. And everyone loves sea turtles.
Yeah. Okay, so one of my favorite moments, possibly my top favorite moment from this episode and this arc is when Yoda, and this is only like adult brain me because I never would have noticed this before. Yoda brings up, he's meeting with the Masters and he's like, oh, well, we need to send reinforcements and they're talking about like it'll take days for the clone troopers to get suited up with the proper armor to do this. And they're like, days we don't have. Obi-Wan said that. And then Yoda's like, why don't we look around? He's like teaching like a kindergarten class. He's like, why don't we look at our resources? Who else is aquatic that we know and is nearby? And they have to pull up the whole planetary map. And it has to be directly in front of Obi-Wan's face before they're like, oh.
Literally, he did like the thing where it's like,
truly wonderful. The mind of a child is everything. Get a hint.
Here it is. It's right in front of you. Obi-Wan, you did this a couple months ago.
Remember when we were doing the Citadel arc?
Yes.
We just brought up out of the blue Jedi Master Say Tin.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh, he was present during the Battle of Mancala?
Mm-hmm.
He said one thing. And that was able to get him a credit?
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't. It's so funny because I love these little moments, and it's just like whenever I think from a writing standpoint, it's like, yes, like make Yoda obviously knows what's going on, but instead of saying we must call the Gungans, this is time sensitive, our friends are in danger, I'm telling you, call the Gungans right now. They
Yoda did it for himself. Like he's just old and he's like, crap, who's our friends that are aquatic?
Can't think of their name. It's on the tip of my tongue. Okay, I'll just make them
bring up the map.
Yeah, I'll just make them answer it for me. Which, to be fair, fully admitting, I've done that before.
Absolutely.
When I teach children, and children definitely know the answer, and I'm like, I can't remember this word.
Or even like my girlfriend and I are going to a place we went to, like where we go to a lot, and then it's just like, honey, can you bring up the Google Maps? And it's like, I thought you knew where it went. It's like, I forgot, okay?
Yeah, I straight up...
room in my brain for Minecraft recipes.
I straight up Google Map everything.
Make another right.
Okay. And my other favorite moment from this one is when Ahsoka and Lee Char kind of have their little moment where she basically says, like, you don't need a sword to be powerful, which leads to the events of Episode 3, which mostly consist of Lee Char, like, making sure that he instills hope in his people. So, Brody, do you have thoughts on Episode 2 and 3? Or things you remember?
I just want to say it really introduces the brutality of Riff Tamsin. Mm-hmm. Well, the first one also introduced the brutality of Riff Tamsin because he literally just bites like people's necks, probably just wrenches their throat, and just moves on to the other one like lightning quick.
So fast. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So fast. It's like, oh my god.
I am speed. Anyways.
I am Kerchu.
Kerchiga.
Kerchiga! And then he said that every time he kills somebody. It's like, Kerchiga! Kerchiga! And it's like, oh no. Oh, Rick. Oh, buddy. Honey, no.
Listen, of all the characters to do that, he 100% would be the one to do that.
Absolutely.
Because he sucks. I hate him.
Everybody look at me. Kerchiga!
Yeah, honestly, Riff Tamsin, one of the best worst characters ever, I would have to say. Like, I love to hate him. He was a great addition to the storyline. Great addition to Clone Wars. I dug that storyline, but he also sucks, Which he's supposed to.
Yeah,
that's fine.
He's a big beaner.
Yeah. Let's see. Did I miss anything from Episode 3?
Wait, is that slang? Is that like a bad thing to say, beaner?
Yes. Yes, for sure. But I don't know how you intended it.
I intended it as he's a stupid little bean man that I could flick with my toe.
I get you. It's okay. I
guess I kind of like mixed it with like neener. Mm-hmm. Like neener.
Yeah. But I would definitely advise finding an alternative.
Yeah. But also, beans are just funny in general.
Yeah.
I love me some good
Or beans. Maybe, like rewording it. Don't end in an ER. Like...
Beanie. That's a hat.
like the TikTok audio, Beanin'. That one.
Beanin'.
Where he's like,
I don't TikTok very
I'll send you one. The people know what I'm talking about.
Followers, and I'm just like, bro.
So, do you have... I don't really remember a lot from Episode 3. I really rushed through that one for my rewatch. But I remember that Lee Char was like, I am here, and I'll be back. Please don't lose hope. And then they win. Because they always win. It's a struggle. But they win.
So with this one, Annie, Fisto, Jar Jar, and Panda Bear are all captured.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm serious. I'm sorry.
Both Anakin and Kid Fisto are both brutally tortured with eels.
Yes, I do remember that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's shanked up, They
that
go
sucks.
through a lot of heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite interactions with that was, like, Kid Fisto was like this, like, just meditating.
Mm-hmm.
And Anakin was like, I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. And then while he was saying that, he got, like, electrocuted. And Kid Fisto was like, more meditating, less talking.
I love Kit Fisto so much, and his goofy smile I think in the second episode.
No, that is a charming smile.
It is charming. It's so charming. I love him.
My heart belongs to Kit Fisto. I want to buy a locket, like one of those little heart lockets that when you click open, one picture is me and the other is Kit Fisto. My girlfriend would get really, really, really mad.
That's so funny. You got to get her one too. And just be like, your heart also belongs to Kit Fisto.
Yeah, it's like, here you go, honey. Your heart also belongs to Kit Fisto now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I give her like a tap on the shoulder and leave. Like I get back in my car.
You just like put it on her and be like, okay, bye. Turn around, leave. Oh my god. Okay, so much chaos, so much fun. This arc, very. I feel like this goes for a lot of things in Clone Wars, but very like self-establishing of like, here are the things that the Republic and the Separatists really affect during the Clone Wars, because that's the point of the show. And you get to see Anakin and Ahsoka do some cool stuff, and also here's a Jedi Master that you never got to do some cool stuff with your favorite main characters. And I love that, and that's why we're here, and that's why I do this show.
Because overall it's a great show to
great show.
Around the end, when it really got to the final countdown with Riff and Lee Char. When Riff brings out these little bombs with little blades that stick out of them and stabs them into like 4 different like aliens at once. Yeah. They all explode in a massive cloud of blood. Like, oh my god, how does this show get away with it? Yeah. And they really do. And then, you know, Lee Char sneaks up from behind, takes one of them from him, and does this awesome, like, ching, looking awesome as hell. Like, oh, he looks so cool. And then throws it at him, and then shoots it. Call back to Jaws. True. Shoots it. And we literally see chunks of Riff Tamson just cascading down, and his severed head with part of his jaw missing, falling downward on the screen. How, like, brutal is that? Yeah. This show was like YT10, you know? It's like, oh my god.
They really do.
Why is our generation so desensitized to this stuff? Because our kid shows had characters dying in massive explosions of blood.
Explosions.
Absolutely. And speaking of the one who's slain the big bad shark. Our
Shark
one
Slayer.
And only favorite, no longer prince,
I'm gonna eat a fry,
but king of Mon Cala, King Lee Char. Now, I love this boy. I love him.
Love this boy?
I love this boy.
Nice.
I love
He's
him.
A sweet boy.
I will give him a smooch on the forehead.
Sweet, tough boy.
$30. So here is the little synopsis about him.
Okay.
Lee Char was a male Mon Calamari who served as the leader of Mon Cala during the Clone Wars. He was set to take the throne from his father, King Yos Kalina, but his father's assassination led to a civil war on the planet. In the final battle of the war, he personally killed Riff Tamson, the Separatist ambassador responsible for his father's assassination. Ooh. At the end of the war, Lee Char was crowned the 83rd King of Mon Cala by the Quarren chieftain Nosiri. 83rd King.
Yeah.
That's a very odd detail that they would include. Specifically the 83rd.
Interesting that they know that.
Yeah, exactly.
They were like,
Some, like, stupid fan was probably like, hey, George Lucas, what kind of, like, which generation of king was Lee Char? And he's like, 83. He was the 83rd king. Get out
I definitely put a lot of hope in the fact that, like, George and other Star Wars creators really just, like, throw out a number and then they just roll with it. I love that idea.
How many days was it between, like, this time and this time?
25.
28. And now it's official, and they have to work around that hurdle that George Lucas was like, George, we can't just throw, like, 28 days of, like, Star Wars in between this time. We have to work with this. But, he does have a unfortunate fate. in the Star Wars comics. It's just called Star Wars, and it follows kind of the events of Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie. Yeah. After the events of A New Hope.
So he would be old by then.
Kinda. He's
oldish.
He's oldish because he was young in the Clone Wars, so he's probably about maybe in his 40s, 30s.
By the time we get to that point,
can't say. But he protected Mon Cala after a Jedi was hiding out there. And Darth Vader and 3 Inquisitors invaded Mon Cala to find these Jedi. And through sad. This, Lee Char was captured by the Empire, and he was hooked up pretty much to a kind of what Palpatine is kind of hooked up to, just a bunch of tubes and stuff to keep him alive.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Did you read this comic? Oh my god!
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I was going to say, because I noticed you weren't reading for part of that, and I was like, oh my god, he knows all of this info. I don't have any of that in my head.
It's sad. Yeah.
Did he... So he was hooked up to that and was still king?
Kinda, because after that, the Mon Cala people, I think, just kind of, retreated or became slaves to the Empire. Either one of those.
Oh yeah, because at that point it would have been... Empire time.
Vader then slew the Jedi and took Lee Char away, and he was imprisoned in on a planet called Strokil Prime.
Ugh.
And his final words, what were Admiral Akbar's inspiration to return to the fight. Because, after the Clone War ended and the Empire began, he was like, no more fighting for me. But after he heard the last words of his king, he went back to serve against tyranny in the galaxy. And his last words are actually very poetic. It's not super long. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
To give some closure to our friends. I am Lee Char of Mon Cala, and I am dying. But we are all dying. The question becomes, how do we wish to live with the time we have? What kind of life do we wish to leave for those who follow us? I have been an absent king, and I am ashamed. I wish I could have been with you through this imperial hell. I was with you in my heart. I've never forgotten you. The fleet is Mon Cala's pride. Mon Cala knows the Empire's evil. Their atrocities are burned on our flesh. We know what wrongs they have done, but we can only guess at the horrors they will do next. If we are with them when they do so, all our pride will curdle to shame. It cannot be so. Goodbye, my people.
Oh my god!
And those words are what inspired Admiral Akbar. Yeah.
Yeah, that could inspire anybody. Holy
After
poop.
his death, Leia attempted to broadcast Lee Char's message to Mon Cala, but the regent intervened and took it away. She decided to do it herself and prompted a mass mutiny of the Mon Cala mercantile fleet.
Wow.
12 Mon Cala Star cruisers made into the hands of the rebellion and were converted for war at the Mako Ta space docks.
That's amazing. Wow,
Right?
okay. Well,
there we go. Quite the heavy note to end it on. So.
No, but still, what a good note to fully wrap up Lee Char's cycle.
Absolutely, and seeing him in the comics too, because in the Darth Vader Lord of the Sith comics, which are prequel comics, I think literally just after Revenge of the Sith, Darth Vader's training the Inquisitorius and hunting down remaining Jedi. We see Lee Char get captured, and then we hear nothing of it, and then Star Wars novel comes out, and there's Lee Char, and
wow. It's interesting too because sometimes when I see characters in Clone Wars, most of the time when I see characters in Clone Wars, I don't think of them in any other medium because I don't read the comics, and I'm starting to, but there's a lot. So right now I'm starting the Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Many comics, honestly.
Yeah, so I'm
at Barnes and Noble the other day, and I was like, "Oh, you look in the graphic novels,"
and
it was
chaos. Yeah. Like, I'm currently
it
doing...
took up an entire aisle. And I was like,
yeah. I'm currently doing Marvel, and I'm focusing more on the Marvel and DC comics. Marvel, mostly, because of WandaVision. And, like, I'm also transitioning into Star Wars comics. Like, I read Darth Vader. I read Darth Maul. But, like, my next one is Obi-Wan and Anakin. So I'm trying to, like, focus on, like, the little sets of them. Not, like, all of Star Wars. The ones that are entitled Star Wars. That's going to be a whole adventure for when I'm older.
There was one TikTok that I saw of this one girl who was like, I'm going to write down every piece of canon Star Wars material. I'm going to write it all down.
Psycho.
So by the end of the year, I will learn every single, like, canon detail about Star Wars. Because she loves reading.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, watch Clone Wars, watch Rebels, watch Resistance, read this comic strip, it's this comic strip, watch this, do this. Look at these comics, read these certain selection of books in this order. And it's like, holy
that's awesome.
Crumbs. Like,
yeah. I definitely want to do that.
Have to find that list.
And I've thought about that, like, doing it that way for a long time. That's what I started to do in college. And then when I realized how many comics I was going to have to include and how many books I was going to have to include, I was like, I'll just do this on my own time. I already know the movies like the back of my hand. I know the TV shows relatively well. I've read a lot of the books.
Scared about with Legends, because when I really started getting into Star Wars, I was like, oh, there's like 30 years of literature. My God.
Yeah.
And they just keep making more.
Yeah.
But now with this new era of Star Wars, this new canon Star Wars, we're able to start fresh and just
separate it out.
Absorb all of it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like now it gets way more, I guess, like, respect. Mm-hmm. Things aren't just kind of thrown in there. And they really take the time to piece together this universe that we're really, loving.
Yeah. I love that. No, I think that was a great conclusion to the episode. I think, and to this arc. So you are able to tell the people where they can find you now.
Yes, you could find me on Twitter and Instagram at TK50015. There's no hyphens or nothing. That's just the way it is, the way it be, way it do.
Nice. You can find me personally at CJerica on Instagram, CJerica95 on Twitter. You can go to my blog, thekybercrystal.wordpress.com. Crystal does have 2 L's in it. And for the main channel, Kessel Run Weekly, you can follow us at Kessel Run Weekly on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can join our Facebook group called The Kessel Crew. So please go check that out. We would like for that to be more active. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode on the Water War arc at the beginning of Season 4 for Clone Wars commentary. Brody, thank you so much for being here.
Of course, I always love being here. I love our wacky tangents.
Yeah, we do have wacky tangents. We got lots of fun things coming y'all's way. It's just going to be a little bit more time in between things. So thank you all for listening. Thank you again, Brody, for being here, and may the Force be with you.